Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Yak Gadget. For all your fine quality kayak fishing needs, go to yakgadget.com. Pelican cases, coolers, and lighting. Go to pelican.com. And the 153 Bait Company. For all your hard and soft plastic bait needs, go to the 153anglers.com. Now let's talk about some awesome products.
Welcome back to the final cast. What's up, Bradley?
What's up, Josh?
Not much, man. Not much. It's, what is it? Well, it'll be Thursday when this comes out, but today, Brad and I are recording. It's a Tuesday night, like usual.
Yep.
How's life treating old Brad Hicks?
Can't complain. Just working, doing a lot of fishing.
Yeah, dude, you got some good fish this weekend, didn't you?
Saturday I caught nothing but dinks, and I watched Chris Yao catch 92 inches of river smallmouth, so I was like, dang. And then Sunday I caught a 17 and a half and a 16 and a half, and then
You got a 19 too, didn't you?
Monday I caught a 19, and then the rest of the day it was a bunch of dinks.
Yeah. I was fishing with Ryan, like we were talking about before. I caught a 17 and 3/4. It's a decent fish. Man, I was hooking fish bad this weekend. I'm gonna tell on myself right now, dude. The 17, I just about killed it. It got hooked in the gill. No. Maybe that wasn't the 17. I don't know. It kept happening. Like I kept hooking fish like really weird ways. Like one of them, like it almost went through its eye. One got hit gill. Like no, what it was is Ryan's been throwing the Jig Masters swim bait sled. You know the little jig head for
I want
baits.
those.
And so we were throwing swim baits. He's been throwing those big Joshies on there.
Yep.
And I was throwing the 3.3 Kayaks on mine. And it's just we were throwing small baits and they just destroy them. Yeah, when they're hitting it, man, they were hitting it. They weren't messing around. There was a few times I got bites where they were biting off the tails, but who knows? It could be a pike. It could have been rock bass will do that sometimes. Baby bass will do that. So, but
it drives me nuts.
There was a few times, man. There was 3 or 4 fish, man. Ryan had to help me on some of them. One of them, I was like, I need your help, dude. He got the one where I think it was the 17 and 3/4 almost got pierced in the eye. But it was weird. It was a weird day, man. And the one of them that got hit in the gill, luckily it clotted really quick and we got it unhooked. Like we both did it. Cause I was like, I need you to help me here. Like, cause I couldn't get the bait to turn.
Yeah.
Like somebody needed to hold the fish's mouth open and hold the line while the other one was working the hook out. I was only because he tried and he couldn't do it on his own. He's like, all right, hold the fish, hold the line. And he was able to spin the hook. And because the hook point had just barely kind of nicked the gill.
Yeah.
But it was bleeding kind of bad, not super bad, but it was clotting really good, which was a good sign. And he was able to flip that hook and I just, pulled the bait out real slow and we released it right away and it swam off good. So
that's good. Heck yeah. I'll take 17 and 3/4 all day. It's anything over 16. I'm happy with.
Yeah, it was fun. He caught a few saw guy, probably like 3 or 4 saw guy and a big channel cat again. And
I saw his Instagram story just before we started.
Did he do one?
Yeah, he said I can't catch any big smallmouth right now, but big catfish, I'm your man.
Yeah, dude, it was insane. And it was on like a little Ned rig worm. Like he wasn't I think he's throwing like a bigger worm, like maybe like a 4-inch.
Oh, like the big TRD.
Sort of, yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's that full, like a full size, but I think that's what he was throwing when it happened. But yeah, me and him jumped all over the city of Dayton, man. We were just everywhere.
Heck yeah, I
Yeah,
love.
we fished, dude. I fished over 12 hours on
Holy
Monday.
crap!
Like, yeah, I got up and I think I was out on the water by between 6:30 and 7, and him and I didn't leave. We didn't finish up till around 8
Dang.
p.m.
He
So
he does that a lot. Like there's days he'll be out there till 10. He's like, I've been out here since 6 a.m. I'm like, you're nuts.
yeah. I like doing that though too, man, because
Yeah.
we went fished like 6 or 7 different spots. So and some
Downtown?
of it was no, we were just everywhere, man. We
Okay.
were like all over the place. We drove like everywhere, and then but we were also running into people. So there was
Yeah.
times where like we go and we wouldn't stay very long, but it was fun. Ryan's a good dude. I've known Ryan for a little bit, and we had a good time, good conversation, and
I need
you
to
know
do that because every time I go fishing, I take the kayak out. And like I've told you before, I'm getting sick of dragging a kayak with me.
yeah,
When
it's
you can
it's
catch these fish off the bank.
yeah, and a lot of times is I like um I like the ability to move quick and be
Yeah.
like, like we went we drove like there was probably a solid hour of driving between the places that we went. You know what I mean? And you could go north, you could, if you don't care to drive, like,
Yeah.
and it's nice too to do that because then if you want, you can stop, get a bite to eat, get some drinks, whatever you
Yeah.
need. Except I made a mistake of leaving my water. He was like, "Hey, dude, put your drink in my cooler." And I'm like, "No, I'm cool." And then we like got back, and I'm like, my water was like 90 degrees. It was
Yeah.
like, and I was like, "Can I put this in your cooler and melt off all your ice now?" He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, dude, that's one thing that I hate about floats, and it's getting worse. Is when I'm out in the heat all day long, I don't do well. So
Mhm.
I end up. It doesn't matter how much water I drink. I'll have 2 Nalgene bottles full, a body armor, a Coke, and then typically like something else in the morning.
Yeah,
I drink it all, and I still have this headache at the end of the day.
I'm like that too, dude. I don't
I have
know
to
what
go
it
home.
is.
Yeah, I have to go home, lay down, and put an ice pack on my head and fall asleep, and then it goes
Yeah.
away in like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's weird. I can do it. I get it too. I think it's just I don't know, man. I don't want to say it's dehydration for sure because I've been the same way. I could drink all the water in the world and still
Yeah.
get that headache,
It,
So
and you're sweating good too. It's just like, oh yeah, I feel good right now, and then like an hour later, like, oh,
yeah.
this sucks. I hate
Yeah, I don't know. And sometimes I wonder like, is it eye strain even though you're wearing sunglasses? You know what I mean? Like, is it
That's what my
happening on those kinds of days?
that's what my wife thinks.
Yeah.
It didn't happen to me yesterday though. I had a pretty good day.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, dude. Like I've told you before we started how I had to take a COVID test today, tested negative. Yay. But there's a few people at work who have COVID, and I wasn't feeling very good on Friday. And my first thing was I was having a headache. And when I had COVID back in December, that was the first thing that came on. And I just kind of felt run down. But then I got home and I got the kids from daycare. I ate some food and actually drank a soda or some tea. I can't remember which one it was, but I realized I hadn't drank any caffeine that day. And I'm not a big caffeine drinker. Like I'm not somebody who drinks coffee throughout the day or sodas, like or energy, like multiple energy drinks. I do though drink caffeine in the morning.
Yeah.
Whether it's I'll have a kind of a bigger cup of coffee, or I will drink an energy drink or whatever. But it's kind of a one and done deal. And then I'm good to go for the rest of the day. I don't like drinking caffeine in the afternoon because 9 times out of 10 I'll have trouble sleeping that night.
Yeah, I'm with
or
you.
falling asleep. And but Friday I hadn't barely eaten anything. Normally I'm really good about eating breakfast. Is one of my other things. I don't usually eat lunch very often at work because I'll eat a good breakfast. Like, I'll eat a good amount of food for breakfast. Breakfast is like my favorite meal. So I realized I was like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. Oh shoot. I ate 2 donuts from Bill's Donuts because I took the kids to get donuts in the morning. And that's it. That's all I'd had. And it was like 4 p.m. and I'm wondering why I don't feel good. I didn't
Yeah.
have any caffeine and I had only eaten 2 donuts the whole day.
Yep.
And so when I got home, kids and I had dinner. I drank a soft drink, I think, and I felt better. And but it was really weird is I kind of felt on and off all weekend. Like this morning, I didn't feel very good. So, and then I got worried because Colin had the sniffles, and I was like,
man.
oh, dude. And so we have the ability to go take a test and they pay for it. And it's like instantaneous. Like, you get your results back. Like I took the test up in Tip City and I work off of 35 outside of Trotwood.
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten my results before I even got back to work. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
And
glad
so that
it's
was
negative then.
Yeah, me too. Because the way I was reacting, I thought maybe I have antibodies still from December, and I'm just fighting it off. I don't know. All the weird
They
stuff
don't know either.
all the weird stuff in the media. Oh, it's fake or it's not fake. I don't know. Like I do know that I had something back in December. I took a test. It said it was positive. It felt different, than what I'd had, previous sinus infections and stuff that I'd had before. So,
Yeah.
but it's clear, so we're good. But so, dude, this is kind of bringing up though, talking about the COVID thing. We are totally aware of supply chain issues out there. Whether it's people think that we're short actually on materials or the stuff's being held up in ports.
Short staffed.
Yeah, bad short staff for truckers on strike. Who knows? It's all conspiracy, man. Jesus.
I'm so sick of everything being a conspiracy.
No, man. I'm
it drives me nuts.
Everything is a conspiracy.
Yeah. It drives me nuts.
They're out to get us, Brad.
Put on
the tinfoil hats. Block the radio waves so they can't scan our brains. Put the phones away.
Yeah.
Hide out
I'm
in a bunker.
It seems like people would be more worried about this device right here than they would be about
this thing. This is the downfall of this society right here.
Yep.
But anyways, Brian and I decided we were going to talk about the sale of kayaks, of used kayaks specifically. Well, actually, new and used. Let's go both. We can make both viewpoints about it. So, Brad is in the process of selling his Bonafide and his Motor Guide, and Brad's doing his usual annual yard sale, is what we like to call what Brad's doing. And he strips it all down and builds from the foundation up. You are like a home builder, dude.
I enjoy rigging kayaks.
Oh, I know you do.
It's fun.
I hate
building from the top, bottom, making it your own. The thing, I would have kept the Motor Guide, but that thing has pissed me off all year long. I am sick of it. I know we've had Motor Guide on, and I said I liked it when it works. But half the time, I would leave it in Chris Yauch's truck, or I'd have to walk back to my truck and put it back. And I got sick of it. I'm like, this is stupid. I shouldn't have to be like that.
Right.
So I sold it today, actually.
I was wondering why you're being so honest.
Well, I mean, I ain't trying to get on a team or anything. I don't care.
No, I'm saying, though, the fact that you actually have it sold.
Oh, well, they sent me a replacement remote, and I used it yesterday. Yeah. It was flawless.
Flawless
Yeah, flawless.
for now.
Worked flawless.
Till it gets a little bit of rain on it.
I guess. I don't
Or
know.
whatever's happening, or a little bit of breath. Maybe it's you. Maybe your nasty sweat is invading it, from the back when you're wearing it,
Nasty.
and it's just destroying electronics. Or the weird aliens are attacking your brain and causing you the headaches, and it's all being done through the remote of your motor guide. And they're trying to kill you. They're trying to kill you with your fishing kayak.
Freaking Joe Biden.
Oh, dude. So yeah. So I'm getting ready to sell mine. And we will we'll kind of talk about that. Why, and this isn't really intended for people who are familiar with the kayak game, as far as like the pro staff teams, the shop teams, and that stuff. These guys, the guys that have been around for a while, are used to seeing this. This kind of is actually aimed at people who are kind of new to the sport or haven't really kind of realized what's happening. So, Brad, you want to go ahead and start? We'll talk about selling used kayaks, and we'll kind of aim it. Let's talk about why you see the yard sale of kayaks, like with the pro staff kind of guys, and then anything else you want to add, like pricing wise or whatever. We'll kind of just go off that.
Yeah, so I always see people post in the owners groups like, why is everybody selling their kayaks middle September? Because it's always like a big rush of them. And that's because a lot of these team guys, they get pro staff deals where they'll get, like Bonafide, for example. The Team Bonafide members were able to get like 25% off wholesale. So you could get a SS127 for like $690 or something crazy. But the stipulation was they had to wait 6 or 8 months to sell it. So they had to use it for 6 or 8 months and then sell it afterwards, which came to be around Labor Day, September, which is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And that's why you always see so many used kayaks on the market. And people are always complaining. They're like, why? Is this a bad kayak? I don't know if I should buy one now because everybody's selling theirs. And then it's annoying to have to re-answer that question over and over and over again.
Yeah. And one of the other things that you pointed out was the Labor Day thing. So for those who are new and aren't familiar with why you don't see like sales or discounts on kayaks throughout the season, is the manufacturers require the dealerships to sell a lot of these kayaks. Like, and this is an example of like Jackson or Bonafide or Hobie or New Canoe and stuff like that. A lot of times there is a stipulation, and when you're a dealership, everybody has to sell at the same price, and they are not allowed to mark them down until a certain point of the year when everybody can mark it down. Mm-hmm. And they usually like Jackson, for example, would be like, okay, you can mark it starting this day for 10% or 15%. I don't know the exact dates or the exact amounts. I'm just kind of giving an example here. Mm-hmm. You can do it for this percentage on this date, and then you can knock it down again after the year. If you still have like a last year's model, in your inventory, you can mark it down, say 20, 25% or whatever. I don't know. So, and everybody's got to follow that stipulation in a sense. If you ever usually a lot of times you may even see sometimes some shops may do it different, and they may be doing something wrong according to the dealership's agreements with that kayak manufacturer. So, and like Brad had mentioned, you get guys who get they get a discount on their team boats. And what they do is it gives them the ability to sell their kayaks in the fall after Labor Day or whatever. And that's why you kind of see this weird sudden uptake in fairly new modeled kayaks too.
Mm-hmm. Like mine's a 2021.
Your red line is?
Yeah.
I thought it was the year. I thought it was a 2020 boat. It's so that's why you kind of see this happen at this time of year. Those guys will get new kayaks, right, Brad? Go ahead. And I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just kind of wanted to talk about that that dealership discount thing that you see. Basically, what you're seeing is what Brad is saying is happening is because those guys can sell that kayak at the time that everything goes into like discount mode in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. I mean, we're fortunate enough that Mark was able to give us like demos for the year, and then at the end of the year we sell them, and then we give him the price that he would have charged us for it, which is a discount, and then we get to keep the difference. So, say I'm selling my red line right now with a few extra things for $1,500.
Yeah.
He gets 1,000 of it or something like that, and then I get to keep the leftover.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's and what it does too is like it helps you stay in a fresh boat, like a good, clean, fresh boat. You get to pick, like a new model or something like that, or say like a new color, and that it's not the main goal for us when we are doing that is the ability to highlight something, to highlight the product. So when you're pro staffing for a kayak shop or a kayak manufacturer like Final Fighter Jackson, you want to be able to be like, oh, this is like Brad's kayak this year was a good kayak to do it was because it was it was the red line, it was the new color, and now next year Brad will probably be looking at that P127, that pedal drive, and he'll be like, all right, check this out. And then he'll be really pushing that P127 throughout the season because it's something new. Yep. That's how it was for me, was that Kilroy HD. I love the kayak. I was like, cool, it's a really sweet kayak. I love the ability to add a second seat to it. So that was kind of where I rolled with it because it fit me and what I wanted to do, but it was also one of the new products, know. So, and then I heard though recently that they're not going to do it anymore. It made me really sad. That's what Mark was saying.
Yeah, they're taking away the Liska, the Kusa, and the Kilroy, I think.
It's the Kusa HD?
Yeah.
It's insane, dude.
Not making it. Well, it makes sense because Drew's not with the.
But still, like
his name's on the boat.
Just take his name off of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But it's
dude, I could see you in a Crescent Crew though. Have you ever seen one of those? The tandem ones?
Yeah.
But it's also used as like a single man.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool boat.
Yeah, it's but that's kind of what we try to do. You get the newest kind of features, and then when you're shooting your photography or you're talking about your trips or whatever, you have that ability then to highlight that newer product within it. So you will, though, for those who are wondering, you will probably see an increase in the price of what people are selling their kayaks for this year too, because the people that are selling kayaks,
supply and demand
the supply and demand is crazy right now. So everything is getting marked up. It's not just kayak game, but everything is going up. The cost of your food is going up. The cost of your gas is going up. Everything is getting more expensive.
Yeah.
And with that, you're going to see these kayaks, people are going to sell them this year, the used ones, for more money. I've seen people that are just selling kayaks in general, like crappy ones, for like outrageous prices.
Yeah. It was fun. It's funny you brought that up because I posted my motor guide in the kayak bass fishing group, and somebody commented on it and said, dude, you could charge way more than that. And I replied back, I was like,
yeah. I
don't want to do that to somebody, though,
Yeah. Well, some people don't care, though. Some people, it's all about the money to some people, Brad. We know that. We've dealt with enough shady people. We've had enough conversations about it. There's a lot of people out there that are just trying to make $1, and they don't care how they do it. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care about anybody else but themselves. And, you know, it's unfortunate that it's getting that way, and it keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
But you know,
I sold my Dakota Lithium battery for the price that I bought it for.
yeah,
Which was like $300 off brand new. So I mean,
it's unfortunate, dude. And it's funny because the people who do that are the first ones to be complaining when somebody screws them over. So
yeah.
But like I saw in the Jackson owner group the other day, somebody was crying about or making a post about Jackson increasing the price on the bite. You know what I mean? They're like, oh man, this is a new price. That's $170 increase. It's like, dude, where have you guys been? Like, this has been talked about all year so far. It was the plastic issues, the supply chain issues, you know, and here we are, like, here it is. It's going to happen, you know, and it's unfortunate, but this is a part of it. It's part of inflation. It's a part of supply and demand. I mean, when you've got inflation happening, supply chain issues happening, and and shortage in actual building material for these things, you're going to see a price increase.
Yeah, and we've already seen that with brands like Bonafide's price theirs up 100. Crescent's done the same. Jackson,
and they did it last year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so it's like, you guys, it's a supply and demand thing. Like when things are sold out as it's happening, they can increase the price, and they're going to. If they have a surplus of crap sitting down, they're going to drop the price down because they want to move the inventory. They don't want it sitting around.
Yep.
You know, it costs money to have products sitting around.
That and the plastic resin, the price of, or there's a shortage in the resin or something like that. That's driven the price up too.
Well, yeah, when they had that issue down south, you know, it caused all the problems in Texas with that freeze. Remember? And we knew that was coming. And the other thing,
jeez,
this is the world's ending, man. Let's go back to the conspiracies, bro.
I forgot about that freeze. I forgot about the tornado. And
if you want to know the end of the world's coming, just look at the kayak supply and demand issues. But what were we talking about?
You were talking about the freeze in Texas.
Yeah. Before that, though, when we were talking about like the pricing, pricing of the Jacksons and that stuff, and it's like, dude, it's just a cumulative thing of all these things happening. It's gonna happen. It's gonna keep happening until things slow down. Everybody's buying kayaks, and everybody's buying kayaks at like literally the worst timed situations possible with COVID and the weather stuff and just everything that's happened in the past year and a half. It's like kind of a perfect storm for it, you know. But I know what I was kind of going with. So when I worked in the steel business, you know, we had an inventory, right? I worked in a distribution center, and I also worked somewhere where we process steel coils. So I kind of been on both the service side and like the warehousing side of it. We did not want to have that shit sitting around in the warehouse. The distribution center was a little bit different. You do keep stock on hand, right? But with us in the servicing side, when we did the pickling and then we did the slitting and blanking on steel coils, if we have that stuff sitting around, you pay like a tax on it or something like that, and it's pretty expensive. Like, so if you have this giant warehouse full of tons of steel and it weighs a ton, and you pay like a premium per pound of steel or per whatever, you know, per 100 pounds or whatever it is. And so that's kind of the same thing you would think about probably is if these companies are holding, are they having to pay on stock that's being held inside those warehouses? You know what I mean? So like if they are, they're going to be like, let's get rid of this because we can kind of be making around possibly the same amount of money if we're sitting there, or we could be at least somewhat profitable and not losing money on these because we're not having to pay to hold this stuff in stock. You know, I don't know though. I don't know if it works that way, but I know that's how the steel industry works. So I'm wondering if that's, you know, kind of the case with that. Granted, I know that's on a smaller scale, but it's not good to be having a bunch of inventory and nowhere for it to be sold, you know, or it's not being sold. So you would see those prices drop at that point. But right now, they're months out, you know, of you possibly getting that kayak, months out, you know. So
I think I heard Jackson, it might even be over a year.
It's possible, dude. It's possible.
I know I did hear somebody.
We didn't get any at Loveland this year, so if we did, I wasn't aware of it. But
no, we didn't at all.
Yeah, and so it's just the nature of the beast, you know. And so, like, yeah, you're gonna see price increases, guys. Sorry, but it's just the way it is. Hopefully, you run into people like Brad or myself. Like, I will be selling the Coos HD at a fair price. I am not going to be selling it for more than what I think it's worth. I mean, not even that, because really, technically, the kayak's worth more probably than what I bought it for because of the supply and demand issue. But I'm not going to do that to somebody.
Yeah.
Not when I have the ability to go get another kayak. You know what I mean? Like, so that would be kind of crappy. And I hope for the team guys that know that they can get another kayak kind of think in that sense, like how would, you know, like you're not on the short stick of that. You're going to be able to get your boat where some people are waiting for a very long time to get a kayak, you know?
Yeah.
But, keep your eyes peeled, do your homework. The best way, I think, would you agree with this, Brad? The best way is to kind of, before you purchase, look at something. Say you want to get a SS127 from Bonafide. Look at several different people's sale and then say, okay, find out what year they have. Okay, cool. Is there anything that's coming with the kayak? Cool. Break down the cost of that stuff, what the retail value is, and then in a way deducts a little bit of money from it. Yeah. Right. I know you're not selling your accessory stuff with your kayak for full retail price. You know, and it's, you know, some people might be trying to get that. I would never buy anything used or from a private person unless I knew that it was like brand new in the box, never opened. Then I would be considering. And I just still don't even like that, you know. Yeah. But because it's just, you never know. You never know what somebody did or what. But anyways, it's just do your homework before you buy. Unless you're cool with it, you know, and you're like, screw it, I'm gonna get it because it's easier than waiting around for 6 months for my kayak.
I completely agree. And I struggle with this because when I'm sitting here trying to like make a post, a for sale post for the kayak, I'm like, all right, I don't want to screw somebody over, but I also don't want to screw myself. Yeah. So sitting there trying to think like, how much should I sell this for? It's kind of hard to determine what each piece is worth. And, you know, good rule of thumb, like if somebody is selling their, like you have a 2021 kayak, if you want to sell it, a good rule of thumb is 25% off that year. And then if it's a 2020, so if you have like a
now, I would say you could go less. I would say if you have a brand new model this year, it's around this time, I would say you can mark it down like 15%, and that would be fair. Yeah. And then when you would be pushing into the next year is where if we were to follow the rule of what kind of like the dealerships sort of have close to it, that 25% is usually the previous year's model. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. I would push. Yeah, you could get away with probably like 50%. But then, like, I'm the way I am though too is like I looked at the condition of the kayak. You know, like how beat up is the kayak that I'm getting rid of? What kind of scratches? Does it look like it's pretty rough? You know, and then I'll knock off some money if it's on the rougher side. Like my Killer HD, I'm gonna try to get as much as I can out of it. I'm not gonna go like full retail on it. It's
Yeah.
I think it's a 2020 model. It's not a 2021 model. But the good thing about the kayak was it was a demo kayak, and then I even been in the water 5 times when I got it.
Yeah, so it's basically new.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it looked new too. Like it still
Yeah.
smelled new. Like it barely been used.
Yep.
And I've hardly used it this year. Like, it doesn't have any like major scratches on it. That Kilroy takes a beating on the nose of it, on the front of it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way it's like a 90-degree bend, like so that thing, when it hits rocks, it just
Big keel.
beats the death out of it.
That's
so
a
whoever
highly
gets it, put a keel guard on it, because I didn't.
Yeah.
It's not getting beat up. I haven't fished enough this year in it to have it be beaten up. So, but like the kayak, man, it's in great shape. So
that's a highly sought after kayak too. I see a lot of people always looking for one.
Yeah, it's
and they're not easy to come by.
And it's going to get even harder too if they're not making it anymore.
You should sell it pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I got my red line with the rudder kit and a keel guard on it. I got it listed for $1,500.
Yeah.
So, they're $1,700 brand new for the 2021 models. But
yeah,
I don't know if that's a fair price or not. I mean, I thought about dropping it down $100.
You could leave it at that, and if it sells, it sells. It's not super unfair pricing. So it's not like you're saying, oh, I'm charging $2,000 for, a $1,700 kayak.
Yeah.
Because there's people out there doing that, I've seen some people selling a $150 kayak for $500 on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, heck, we see it with PlayStation and Xbox. People buy them all right off the bat and charge them like $800 more.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's just kind of, so keep your eyes peeled, do your homework. You may see a little bit of a slowdown, in it this year in regards to the used boats, because if sometimes the team guys have to suffer also with the customers. If there is a shortage, they may not be able to get their new boats, so you may not see guys selling their kayaks. That has happened. I think that kind of happened a little bit last year too. There was a lot of people that just held on to what they had because of a fear of not being able to sell or to get, the new model the next year. So, when everything is normal, that you'll see the uptick of used kayak sales, online, and it's usually a big push for the guys that are upgrading, on the teams and that sort of thing. So,
yeah.
Anything else you want to add, Brad? Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I actually got something cool since I'm actually getting rid of my kayak. I'll probably be without a kayak for like a month and a half, but I put a deposit down on a NRS inflatable.
Did you really?
I did.
Heck yeah, dude.
So I'm going to be using that on the river next year. Oh, well, for the foreseeable future. If I like it, I'm just going to keep it. It'll probably be a tough sell anyway, used. But after listening to the Smalley Talk guys on their podcast and watching Jeff Little's videos, I'm like, I got to get an inflatable for the river. It's no brainer. 30 pounds.
We'll see. Dude, you're so extreme though. Here's what I'm talking about. You went from one extreme to the exact opposite one. You went from a heavy motorized bona fide, suckable, and then you're like, now I've got a pillow with a handle on it, basically, and I am gonna roll that way.
I don't know, dude. Like, there's a couple times I paddled this year. I really did enjoy it. I missed it, on the river. So it's like that thing's gonna be easy to paddle. It's gonna be easy to carry up and down the hills in downtown Dayton.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a good idea, dude. I'm not knocking you at all. I think they're great. I really like what I'm seeing from the inflatable side. As far as the company boat, their stuff looks cool. I like the NRS thing. That what's the dude's name from NRS? We had him on the show. Sorry, I
David
forget.
Foyt.
Yeah, Foyt's dude doing those tournaments out of his. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's a super capable kayak. You know, Hobie has the iTrek, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are loving that thing for the rivers. So, yeah, it's the lightweight game is in full effect.
Oh yeah, it's coming back.
You know, I think people kind of get tired of, especially for us river guys. You just like, ugh.
Well,
I mean, like we've always laughed about me dropping your Bonafide, you know, and that was because I was like, damn, this thing's heavy. And it's because not only is it a heavy kayak, but Brad travels heavy. Brad stores
I'm stupid.
all the. Well, no, it's not. It's smart. It sucks to carry it, but it's smart. You know, while I'm walking back and forth from my truck to the, you know, our launch site.
Yeah.
You know, you are just one and done. You're like, all right, dude, grab the other end. And I'm like, well, where's all your stuff? You're like, have fun. You know, like, here we go. And I drop your kayak because I slip on the side of the muddy bank, you know.
Yeah,
but
it sucks though, man.
That's, you know, and I can't imagine what it's like when you're adding a motor to it. So
and doing it by yourself in Franklin.
A motor and the battery too. So
yeah.
It's heavy.
It's not fun, dude. There's many times I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. I got up to the hill and I was just like,
I can't imagine, dude. That's why I haven't messed with the whole motor and the
yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of guys that they're like, oh, I love my Hobie in the river, and I'm like, yeah, but you guys launch those things. You're finding boat ramps, and yet that to me starts to limit where you fish.
Yeah,
you know, like
I even talked to Dylan Rupp recently about this. He's like, I've gotten to the point where I don't even want to fish the river right now because my kayak's too heavy.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm with you, dude. I'm the same way right now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Kilroy is nothing in weight wise compared to your guys' kayak, but it's still a 90-pound kayak, and it's not the easiest thing to trek a long distance because Brad's familiar. Here we have like a wide variety of, obviously, in like a lot of places, of launches. So we have launches that are like boat style launches. They've been around for a long time. It's got a little ramp. It's been there for years, back in the day when the river was deeper and everybody used to run their John boats out there with the trolling motors, and you know. But now, a lot of those areas are actually not able to be used like that anymore. Like the one in West Kelton, there's an old boat ramp below that dam. But you can't tell now, you know, like the whole area, like in the water, is all the same. It's all where that flat is. And you can't tell like of a channel there. A few years ago, you could actually see the channel, but now you can't. It's overgrown now with the vegetation and stuff. But then you have some like put-in spots, and it's like 50 to 100 yards away from the parking lot. You're like, what? That's not a put-in spot.
Yeah.
It's a hike.
Like the German club.
Yeah,
German clubs like that.
There's a couple of them, man. Especially on the Little Miami, it has some of them like that. You're like 25 to 50 yards away from it, so you're having to carry kind of far. And I get it because you know you think about it, you don't want to have a parking lot that you're having to clean every time it rains hard and it flooded out. So
yeah, there's a boat ramp on the Little Miami River like that. Somebody scrapes it with a bobcat, it looks like, every time it gets muddy.
Dude, you've been to West Carrollton after a big flooding event? Like, dude, there's like whole trees all over the place up there.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, like if you look out in the field, they will go and collect that stuff up and dump it like right along where that oxbow is.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
You can tell because it's all piled on that little island.
Yeah. They'll push it all out, and then that stuff. Eventually, the next rain event will push that stuff further over on the island, and then on the wood side, it's the woods that are next to the treatment facility, the water treatment facility. Those woods are covered with that debris also.
Yeah.
So it's wild, man.
That's a sharp bend too, so it pushes that stuff right into it.
Right into it. It's wild. But yeah, it's It's weird, dude. It's you're gonna see. I think you'll like the inflatable, but I guarantee you'll probably switch back, because I think what you're gonna run into is you're gonna be like, man, I really like having like all my stuff with me, because I think you'll kind of start being like, like
I'll
I
still
really
have.
want.
Well, I'll still have 4 rods in my book bag like I normally carry.
You're gonna switch. I don't care what you say to try to convince me otherwise. You will change your mind, because that's what Brad Hicks does.
Well, I found it that's what I was going to mention earlier. I found out like I completely changed the way I fish the river this year, and that's from going spot to spot and getting out off the kayak more and just fishing off the bank, which I didn't really used to do. I would just float along and cast.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. I love to get out of the kayak. I fish the spots better if I can. Sometimes you're fishing a spot and you're like, yeah, I can't reach that from over there. I can't reach that from a standing position. I have to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the best way is to slow down, get out, pick it apart, and move on.
Yep.
The bad thing about that, though, is, Brad, is you got to be careful on that time. Remember? Like can't tell how many times I've been out on the water and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just made this way longer than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I know. Like 3-4 mile. Me and Justin did a 2.77 mile float yesterday, and it took us 7 hours.
Yep. And that's what happens when you start getting out, and because you realize, oh, dude, we've been here for an hour and a half on this one spot, especially if you start catching fish. So,
yeah, it was like that the very start of the trip. I mean, we went upstream and stayed there for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, dude, anything else you want to add?
I love Lamp.
You love what?
It's off of Anchorman. Oh. It's stupid. That movie's stupid.
No, it's not. That movie's awesome, dude. It's like, it works 100%, 60% of the time or something weird like that when he's talking about that. What is it called? Something Panther. The cologne, remember?
Oh.
It smells bad.
I forget what it is. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
That movie's hilarious. When he's talking to the dog, he's like, what? You ate a whole wheel of cheese? No, I'm not mad. I'm impressed. It's amazing.
Shouldn't have had that whole glass of milk. Or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while.
It's a great movie. A lot of Will Ferrell movies are hilarious.
Yeah.
If you ever want to watch a really funny outtake, watch Talladega Nights outtakes.
Oh, geez.
And Ricky, this is for everybody on the pod. Okay. And there's a scene in the movie where he's been out of racing and stuff like that. And he's sleeping he's staying at his mom's place, and he's been on the couch all day. And she's like, Ricky, you need to get out, get a job or something. Well, there's an outtake scene where he's laying on the couch and he's got burrito wrappers all over his belly. Chipotle in his places, wrap it with aluminum foil.
Yeah.
It's all over his belly. And he's farting. He's like, Mom, come in here. And she comes in here and he farts, I love you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, I love you as he farts. And it's hilarious, dude. I've never laughed so hard. I'm like, I don't know why that's not in the movie. Like, I was crying laughing. And every time I would think about it, I'd start laughing again.
I'm going to have to look that up.
It reminds me of the people who train their dogs to say, I love you. And like, I love you. It's kind of like that, but in fart mode. And so riot.
That's awesome.
Yes. So
look it up.
If you guys haven't seen that before, check it out. I think it's hilarious, but I've also got the humor of a, preteen kid. So,
well, there we go, man. Hey, this hasn't been a bad episode for being something we just picked up.
Threw together. Yeah. Well, guys, thanks again, Brad. Thanks for joining me on this lovely Tuesday night to record for a Thursday episode next Thursday.
Yep. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. You guys all have a good night or good day. Enjoy your day. Come back, follow us on Instagram at Paddle and Fin. and Brad Hicks Fishing and Kusa Josh.
I said good day.
Good day.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode on Paddle and Fin. Don't forget to go check out our website at paddle_n_fin.com. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel at Paddle and Fin. If you got a question, comment, want to hear from a future guest on a future episode, feel free to email us at paddle_n_fin@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Paddle and Fin on Facebook and Instagram. Shout out to our show supporters, Angler. The Angler button and app just makes for a better time on the water and creates a virtual logbook for every fishing outing out on the water. Shout out to Rocktown Adventures, located in northern Illinois, for all your kayaking, camping, and hiking needs. Shout out to Jig Masters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com